All right. Check, check, check. All right. Welcome to the Ballistic Blade Entertainment live stream of launch at SpaceX Boca Chica. I'm your host, JB, aka Caesar. And we're going to go ahead and kick this party off right, man. I have to diligently, when I say diligently, I mean diligently share the stream because I am way behind schedule right now. I need to figure out what other platforms I'm going to be sharing this live stream to. Shout out to the NASA space flight for covering SpaceX footage. And yeah, we're going to have some fun today, man. Hopefully I can go ahead and get the YouTube information shared with the let's see here, what the other platforms I have going on. I'm just going to minimize this for a second, guys. Give me 1 second here. I've got to make another window. Hopefully that doesn't deter the live main window here. But yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I know today a lot of people are wondering, you know, what's happening, what's going on, who's doing what. And so we are going to witness another test flight for today. And glad you guys can make it out. Hope that you are doing well wherever you are, wherever you may be. So, for today's live stream, you know, I'm going to keep it simple. We're not going to prolong everyone too long on today's stream. Like I said, just wanted to get the word out, and I'm just trying to do my due diligence as far as covering the event for today. Shout out to the Ballistic Blade team. Shout out to the Violence Conductor, President Business, Ballistic Blade Boy. Thank you for your honorable service this past Memorial Day weekend. We recognize you and your families. Today's launch is going to be very special for a number of reasons, but just to give you guys a little insight, this is test flight number 9, and so this is booster 14 TAC 2. We are running more R&D on the launch of this vehicle, as well as some other things. I'm going to go live on TikTok, guys. Excuse me for 1 second. Like I said, I still have to mess around with some of the audio. I have not checked to see if everything was coming in clearly on the other outlets just yet, but definitely preparing all of the work on the back end here. And for some reason, the stream on Twitch was not doing what it was supposed to do today, so I have to figure out what's going on there. But I just figured I would stream to YouTube because it's a lot easier. I know YouTube for streaming seems to be pretty stable, so I've decided to go ahead and hop on there. I'll probably fill everyone in with the details a little later, but for now I just wanted to get the the video up because today is a launch day. Um, I don't really have much time in the way of getting this information out as it is timed. We got a 6:30 window here, so I'm trying to be as fast as possible with setting up everything on my end. Okay, so we should have TikTok up and running here. Let me double check some stuff. Let's see. Looks like it's loading up still. And yeah, man, thank you guys for, again, tuning in. I know this is extreme short notice. I typically try not to be tardy when it comes to these sort of things. And yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in today. See what we have going on here. But yeah, for the last couple of streams, it seems like things have been on the up and up. No major news in the way of today. It was a little windy today. I'm gonna hop over to X because I know you guys can see my screen here. I'm trying to load everything up, but I'm gonna hop over to X for just a second. Hold on. I need to figure out a way to do this in the background here. Let me see. There we go. So now I believe we should be good to go. All right, and we are ready also to go live with TikTok here. Just need to make sure that I got my camera source set up for that as well. All right, so we are good to go there. Now, yeah, once I go live, we're probably going to be ready to launch here in just a second. So I'm hoping that everything is copacetic on the pad over at Massey's. But I think we got a good view here. I think everything is looking good. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go live. Oops, on TikTok. If I can get my titles correct here. And we will go ahead and get started. I always have a hard time trying to make sure I've prepared everything in the way of these launches because it's just hard to keep up with like after a while. It looks like NASA is trying to give us some other footage. I see they've kind of got their camera stuff squared away there, so that's good. Let me see here. like I said, I do was try to make sure that I was able to kind of share everything with the group. It seems like I'm having some difficulty kind of jumping back and forth between windows trying to share the stream here. Give me just a sec, folks. See, I don't want to do that. Yeah, definitely got to figure this thing out here. But yeah, today is definitely a special day. Like I said, we got a lot happening. Kind of jumping back and forth between windows, trying to share the stream here. Give me just a sec, folks. All right, so I managed to get it up and running. And do. So yeah, we will continue the live here. Like I said, once 6:30 kind of pokes his head, we'll go ahead and get rolling here. We have a very short window, launch window, and I'll try to keep you guys posted on all the action. For whatever reason, my internet is not the fastest today, but I will do my best here. I will do my best to keep you guys posted. So there's that. And yeah, we will go ahead and get back to the stream. Like I said, we are live on TikTok. I was getting some information about today. I was at work, and then we had to leave a little early because of the launch. And then I know everybody was super duper excited about what's happening today. But yeah, we will make it do what it do. Like I said, man, I am just running some stuff in the background, just making sure I got everything set up here. And we'll continue with the stream. All right, let me see. Yep. So we are looking good. Twitch is looking good. And TikTok is also looking good. I don't know what the holdup is now. It looks like we're just kind of waiting in the background. I'm gonna hop over to X and see what they got going on. What's the holdup there on their end? Let me double check some stuff here. Because normally everything is pretty smooth sailing. So we should be taking off here shortly. I'm just gonna check X real quick. Now I'm live on X, but I have not seen if SpaceX posted anything. They should be live here too. Let me check. So if you guys have X, normally every launch day, there should be some live feed somewhere. Here we go.
We're coming to you today from Star Factory, our new 1 million square foot manufacturing facility in Starbase, Texas. The Super Heavy booster is the first stage of the Starship launch vehicle stack. It's the largest boost stage ever developed for any rocket ever. Having the largest rocket ever is a very cool engineering feat, but the thing that really makes a difference is the ability to rapidly reuse that rocket to launch many other missions. Reflying Booster 14 is an important first milestone in that we have proven that we can recover a vehicle, turn it around, and fly it a second time. But it's not a victory lap yet.
From an operational perspective, an ideal state looks like a vehicle where very few things have to happen on it in order to take back off again. So we catch the vehicle, put it back onto the launch mount, put a new ship back on top with its payload, refuel, and take back off. And that same booster will come back to the launch mount, and we do the same thing all over again. Falcon is, reusing at a pretty high rate, and we get to go look at them and say, what did you learn? What is good? What is bad? And as we continue to build the Starship process.
Zero-touch refurbishment really looks like a commercial airliner. The advantage we have on Booster relative to when we developed Falcon 9, for instance, is this was really designed from the outset for rapid reusability.
We're using all of the flight test learnings from our version 1 and version 2 vehicles in our orbital flight test campaign to inform the design of our version 3 vehicle.
The next generation vehicle will be the first time that we've really attempted to make rapidly reusable thermal protection on a rocket. In the next iteration, we'll be able to add in new innovative materials and regenerative cooling that will enable rapid zero-touch refurbishment.
Rapid reusability, the ability to fly, turn the vehicle around, and refly again immediately is really the key goal of the Starship program.
All right, excellent presentation. So we are still here hanging out on the pad, and let's see, the chat is going crazy here. Everybody's waiting to see what the deal is. Let me hop back over to, I'm going to jump back over to SpaceX. I was really hoping they would have something live here. I think Elon is at the factory.
So give me a rundown. Like right now, we're T-minus 4.5 hours. What's going through your head right now?
I have a lot going through my head, actually. Just thinking about the various ways the rocket can fail, which are many.
Yeah.
But what we're hoping to achieve today is we want to obviously get the like by far the most important thing is the high heating phase of re-entry, and see how the tiles perform during the hypersonic max heating.
Yep.
And also on the basically this is think of this as a tiles mission.
Yeah.
It's all about the tiles.
Yep.
So do the tiles stay on, or do they shake off? It's pretty hard keeping tiles on a rocket when it is shaking, like more shaking than you could possibly imagine shaking would be.
Yep.
Like the vibration and acoustics
Yep.
are like beyond human comprehension.
Yeah.
And the ceramic tiles are like basically are brittle, like they're like a coffee cup or a dinner plate. So like got this whole like shaking metal rocket that's got cryogenic propellant, so it's like shrinking due to the cryogenics. Then it's being pressurized, so it's puffing up like a balloon.
Yep.
Then it's got body bending.
Yep.
So and it's shaking. So it's like, how do you keep these dinner plates from falling off,
Yeah.
or cracking
Extremely
or whatever?
Dynamic.
Yeah. So, no, we do keep the vast majority of them on, but some of them fall off, and then we're going to find out like why did they fall off? Like what do we need to do to fix that? Why do they crack? And then for high heating reentry, you've got some parts of the rocket that see much higher heat than other parts. So like the the areas around the flaps where you've got sort of concentrations of hot plasma.
Yeah.
That needs extra care. Like the hinge area where the flaps are hinging. How do you protect that hinge gap? Because the plasma wants to group up there and then create like a rapids so you get like a like a Venturi effect, or it's really just like a high pressure buildup ahead of the flap hinge that if you're not careful will then create a heat concentrator and cook your hinge.
Yeah.
So so it's really, I say that it's the areas around where there's discontinuities around the flaps are the most sensitive, and just figuring out like what more do we need to do to improve the tiles, and like do we need to add like different change the size of the gap in certain areas? Do we need to add gap filler? Like there's like so many like nuanced. That's why I call it like this the tiles mission.
Yeah.
It's all about tiles.
Well, and you even have those metallic tiles and like an actively cooled tile. Like what's the story on some of that stuff?
In some areas, it may make sense for us to have active cooling. Active cooling, you know, it takes mass to do active cooling.
Right.
So you don't want to do that everywhere.
Right.
But some places, for extra, you know, assurance, you might do active cooling.
And are we talking like, is it just flowing like methane through it and then bleeding it out somewhere else? It's not like transpirational cooling, or like what's the current test on it? Is it like
I wouldn't read too much into like there's a lot of ways to deal with that. Like hopefully we don't have to use active cooling. So that's not a primary approach. It's something we'll do if we have to, and if we can't solve the tile erosion issues any other way.
I'm monitoring for those of you who just joined the chat. Like I said, I know I got TikTok open as well as YouTube. For those of you that are in the chat, Elon was at the factory today. I was at work for a little bit. But basically what he's talking about is the tiles on the booster. Now I've been jumping back and forth between just kind of seeing if they're still on the pad right now, which they are still on the pad. And I'm trying to see if they're going to launch, because we are still sitting here. This is live, Boca Chica, Brownsville. I'm monitoring the chat, and it looks like some people are saying there was some ground issues. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go, baby! Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah. That's what you want to see right here. Let's go! That's what I'm talking about. Had me worried there for a minute. All right. Flight 9, let's go. Finally. Woo. All right. This is it, guys. Ah, yes. Trial and error. We finally did it. Oh my God. Oh my God, I shed a tear. Far too long. Get that thing into space. Sorry, all the launch days are like super emotional for me. Like 90% of the time, because this is what I do for a living. Alright. I'm going to try to see, now that we've got 4 different camera angles, one which keeps moving, they need to get that gimbal. I guess they're trying to find it in the sky here. I'm just hoping they straighten the camera so we can see NASA. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Flight 9 just took off from the pad. That was Booster, the one you see that looks like a end of a cigarette. That's Booster 14 TAC 2. Oh, Starship is off. And looks like it is out of here. Yep, there she goes. Okay, I'm gonna swap back over to X and see. Like I said, I'm shocked. SpaceX is not having any live footage. I typed it in and I'm like, bro, what's the deal here? Okay, finally. I was waiting for them to give us something. Jeez. All right, here we go. There we go. So we got 1 million views on SpaceX. This is 4,000 miles an hour or kilometers
And
an hour.
definitely keep an eye on which way the booster flips. First ever directional flip we're going for today. Should flip straight up.
Oh my gosh, come on. Don't give out, cameras. I've spent many hours wiring harnesses.
See those
Come on, let's
engines
go.
powering down?
Booster engine cutoff. Ship ignition.
Let's go.
State
That's what I'm talking
separation.
about. Yeah. All right.
Incredible flip by Super Heavy Booster, and you can see those 6 engines, those 3 engines on the ship ignited.
All right.
6 healthy Raptors running on ship on its way to space. Peek that engine view. Booster doing the boost back. Chris, how's it looking over there in Hawthorne, man?
It is looking
Chamber pressure is nominal.
It is looking absolutely incredible here
Awesome.
in Hawthorne. As we said, 6 healthy engines on ship. We've got 13 out of 13 engines on the booster. Now down to those 3, which is what we expect in the final moments of the boost back burn. Now, as a reminder, we are not recovering the Super Heavy booster today. We are instead going to do some...
shutdown.
And there we had a good shutdown of the boost back burn. Next up will be the jettison of that hot stage ring.
Avionics power and telemetry nominal.
Great call out there that everything looking nominal aboard the Super Heavy vehicle, which is returning to Earth. And we're going to be doing some experiments with it, including a higher angle of attack re-entry, as well as some engine tests as it gets closer to the Gulf. We are, again, because of these tests not recovering it, we are sending it to the Gulf on purpose to do those tests. But again, you see the booster on the left-hand side of your screen. You see ship with 6 healthy engines continuing its ascent to its planned suborbital trajectory. Everything going very well so far for Starship's 9th flight. Now 4 minutes, 15 seconds in. Great views from inside of the aft engine area of ship there, looking at those 3 sea level and 3 Raptor engines on the right-hand side of your screen. The booster doing its LOX dump, that liquid oxygen dump. So because we don't need some of that liquid oxygen propellant in its tanks, we vent that propellant out to lessen the booster's mass as it comes in for its landing.
Oh. Looks like we got a lot of background chatter too.
Just absolutely gorgeous views watching these 2 vehicles do their respective things in the skies over Texas here today. And Dan, we're approaching the 5-minute mark into the flight. Super Heavy is descending rapidly. What can we expect here in the next few minutes as it does its atmospheric tests?
All right, I'm going to mute this for a second, guys. I'm going to keep the footage rolling. I just want to talk about some stuff for a second here. Okay. Anybody who knows me knows I've been at SpaceX now for almost a year. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, right? So this is one step closer to manned flight being on the way to go to Mars, just so you guys know. The booster is now coming back. This is Boca Chica, Texas, Brownsville, South Padre. Here we go.
Igniting for its landing use. First free flight of boost. But
Go, Avi.
all right, we got about a minute, but
Go, Avi.
all right, we got about a minute left into this burn. All eyes definitely on ship.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
As we get through the final stages into its ascent. We're expecting it to start to cut those engines off.
Yeah, man. Glorious
in
moment.
About 45
glorious,
seconds.
glorious moment. Moments like these, man. I'm telling you. A lot of people are watching, man. They're waiting because the heavy booster, the Super Heavy, is what's going to carry mankind to Mars.
Just about 30
it's the
seconds
only thing
to
that's
go.
got the most lift to get Starship out there.
We're in terminal guidance.
Very, very important stuff.
The final stages of this
here.
ascent burn. We did see shutdown of the Raptor engines. We do stagger these, so we do the Raptors first. Those 3 have shut down successfully. Sea levels still running.
Ship engine cutoff.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Ship engine
Nominal
cut off,
insertion.
the 3 most beautiful words in the English language.
And great call out that we had nominal insertion.
You know, doing what it does. you know, doing what it does, everything going according to plan with that, everything going according to plan with that. But yeah.
Rest of this flight.
Ability to do a Starship missions that will go orbital. And then, of course, one of the biggest tests yet to come is the new heat shield modifications to Starship. And that'll start with reentry. We're seeing these wonderful views of ship in space right now. So, and I can't wait to see Starlink really provide those epic views and that data transmission during reentry, which is very, very critical to getting that data during reentry. So, Dan and Jesse, it's been an exciting day so far. There's more to come as we get ready for Starship's first ever payload deploy. What can we expect next here in the next few minutes?
During this flight, you
so all your high-speed internet,
a couple of those.
Man, look at all that wonderful. Man, look at all that wonderful, you know, stuff floating around in front of the camera. Oh my gosh. It's a lot.
Well, we heard the door open was in progress. It was unable to actuate all the way open, so they are going to close it back up. Hal told me no. Said, I'm sorry, Dan. Can't do that. Looks like we won't get the door open today. But that's okay. This is obviously a test we want to be able to do before we're deploying full-on Starlinks. But the real is getting to that reentry. That is the most critical phase of Starship that we still have to prove out. All right, well, so it does look like we're not going to be able to deploy Starlinks today, but we should have pretty frequent views from Starship. They might cut in and out every once in a while, but should be pretty regular. We are in darkness right
now. Get everything going. You know, everybody's kind of waiting to see what happens with the. It's kind of waiting to see what happens with the deployment of those panels. Deployment of those panels, and then after that, we should get a better visual.
See how it's intermittent like that, and then the ship will roll to a point where the dish can no longer. Like, we're looking down at the rest of the ship functionally. So if that cloud material that we're seeing is coming from the vehicle itself, where?
The other side of the ship that we can't see.
Is it just?
Remember, the tanks are huge, so they have a lot to vent if they wanted to.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I wonder if that's. We're too early for plasma, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, low. If you go low enough, you might have some plasma interaction still. Crispy will probably be yelling already at me, shuttle, because it's true that on some missions they did some testing at low altitudes. There we go.
All right, looks like we got ship turning over here. I'm waiting for it to see if they're gonna start deploying these waffle sort of Starlink.
Following along, we have essentially lost attitude control on the ship at this point. It is suborbital, so it's still headed to the exact same trajectory as before. We were not able to get that payload door open and deploy those nose cones. We've been dealing with some leaks on the ship. This is also what led to that loss of attitude control. So at this point, we are kind of in a spin, and we are also going to be skipping that Raptor relight. If you've followed through the history of Starship, something similar happened, different cause, but same symptom back on Flight 3, where we weren't able to maintain attitude control in orbit. And so we're going to skip the relight of that Raptor engine while we're in space. We are going to still proceed with entry, but as we are not able to control the attitude of the ship, as we get into entry, it will enter in whatever orientation it is in at the time. Which does not bode well for the ship's heat shield, as we're not going to be essentially aligned the way that we want to do for reentry. So it is definitely coming down. It is definitely heading to the Indian Ocean, but our chances of making it all the way down are pretty slim. So we'll still get as much data as we can. We're still getting live telemetry, live views from Starlink the entire time, and we'll continue to stick with ship as it continues on. We are about 10 minutes away or so until we start getting into entry, and the light will start to pick up.